The crimson scales of the red dragon pack glinted like molten rubies as they descended through Earth's atmosphere, leaving trails of fire across the twilight sky. Their war cry, a sound that had shattered the defenses of 17 civilizations, echoed across the valleys of what humans called the Appalachian Mountains. Matriarch Keldrax led the formation, her massive wings spanning nearly 50 meters. Rage burned in her golden eyes, a fury that had consumed her for 3 solar cycles. The humans had taken her young. 23 pups, including her own daughter Rin, had vanished from their nursery world while the pack hunted in distant systems. Intelligence suggested they were here, on this blue-green planet whose inhabitants called themselves humanity. The Red Dragon Pack did not negotiate. They did not bargain. They came for blood. Keldrax's thermal vision detected the settlement below a small cluster of wooden structures nestled in a clearing surrounded by dense forest. Primitive, vulnerable, perfect for harboring stolen young. She signaled the attack formation with a pulse of bioelectric energy that rippled through her pack. 30 adult dragons, each an apex predator capable of reducing starships to slag, began their descent. But as they drew closer, something felt wrong. There were no defensive shields, no weapon emplacements, no signs of the sophisticated technology required to capture dragon pups across light years of space. Just wooden buildings, smoke rising from chimneys, and the faint sound of singing. Keldrax landed first, her claws gouging deep furrows in the earth. The others followed, forming a perimeter around the largest structure. She approached the door, her body temperature rising to combat levels, superheated plasma gathering in her throat. The door opened before she could strike. A human female stood in the doorway, small and fragile-looking, with dark hair pulled back from her face. She wore simple clothing and held up one hand in what Keldrax's translator identified as a peaceful gesture. "You must be their mother," the human said softly. "I'm Arya. Please, before you do anything, just look." Keldrax's roar shook the building's foundations. "Where are they?" "Inside. Sleeping. Please. Just look." Arya stepped aside, her movements calm despite facing a creature that could incinerate her with a breath. Keldrax pushed past her, ducking through the doorway that was far too small for her bulk. The other dragons pressed close, trying to see inside. The sight that greeted them defied every expectation. The interior was warm, lit by a gentle fire in a stone hearth. And there, scattered across cushions and blankets on the floor, were the missing pups. All 23 of them, curled up, sleeping peacefully, their small chests rising and falling in the slow rhythm of deep slumber. Rin, Keldrax's daughter, was nestled directly against Arya's rocking chair, her small head resting on a pillow that still held the indent of where the human had been sitting. The pup's scales, still soft and developing, gleamed a healthy copper red in the firelight. What is this?" Keldrax's voice had lost its edge, confusion replacing fury. Arya moved carefully into the room, stepping over sleeping pups. She settled into her rocking chair, and immediately little Rin stirred, making a small, chirping sound. The pup climbed up, scaled forelimbs gripping Arya's shirt, until she was curled against the human's chest, head tucked under Arya's chin. 3 months ago, Arya began, her hand gently stroking Rin's developing crest. A damaged ship crashed in the valley. Not a human ship. Something else. Something dark. When we found it, these little ones were inside, terrified and alone. The ship's crew was dead. We found evidence they were smugglers, part of some black market exotic creature trade. Keldrax felt the temperature of her plasma drop. Smugglers. The void merchants, perhaps. They'd been tracking that criminal network for cycles. We didn't know what they were at first, Arya continued. But we knew. They were babies. Scared babies, who'd been stolen from their families. So we did what humans do. We took care of them. Another dragon mother pushed into the room, her eyes fixed on her own offspring sleeping peacefully near the fire. Fed them every 4 hours, kept them warm, sang to them when they cried. Arya's smile was gentle as Rin nuzzled closer in her sleep. Your young are a lot like ours in some ways. They need food, warmth, safety, love. We've been trying to figure out how to find you, where you came from. Human technology isn't advanced enough to track interstellar signatures. Keldrax approached slowly, her massive head lowering to inspect her daughter. Rin was healthy, well-fed, her scales properly developing. There were no signs of abuse or neglect. In fact, the pup looked better than some younglings raised in proper pack nurseries. She's been fussy the last few days, Arya said softly. I think she knew you were coming. A mother's instinct. Maybe. The term struck something deep in Keldrax's chest. She studied this small human, who held her daughter with such tenderness. Arya showed no fear, even surrounded by creatures that could end her life in an instant. Instead, she looked protective, one hand cradling Rin as if shielding her from any potential threat. Why? Keldrax asked finally. Why risk your life for offspring, not your own species? Arya looked up, and her eyes held something the dragon recognized, the fierce, protective love of a mother. Any mother, for young in need. Because they're children, Arya said simply. What else would we do? The other pups were beginning to wake now, stirring at the presence of their true mothers. Small chirps and cries filled the air as recognition sparked. Adult dragons carefully entered the building, reuniting with their young. And Keldrax watched as each human in the settlement emerged, men, women, even human younglings, each having clearly played a role in caring for the dragon pups. Rin finally woke, blinking sleepy eyes. She looked up at Arya first, making a contented sound, then turned to see Keldrax. The pup's cry of joy was pure and uncomplicated as she launched herself toward her mother. But then Rin did something that would be discussed in Dragon Pack councils for generations to come. She turned back, climbed onto Arya's lap one more time, and nuzzled the human's face before finally returning to Keldrax's embrace. The matriarch felt something shift in her understanding of the universe. We came for blood, she said quietly. I know, Arya replied, standing slowly. I'm glad you found something else instead. As the dragons prepared to depart with their recovered young, Keldrax made a decision that would forge an alliance between two species who should have been enemies. She touched her forehead to Arya's the dragon gesture of deepest respect and gratitude. The Red Dragon Pack does not forget, Keldrax said. You protected our most precious treasure. From this day forward, humanity is under our protection. Let any who threaten you face our fire. Arya smiled, tears tracking down her cheeks as she watched the pups reunite with their families. Just take care of them. That's all the thanks we need. But as the dragons lifted into the night sky, Rin, looking back at the settlement with large, sad eyes, both species understood that something profound had changed. Humanity had passed a test they didn't know they were taking. They'd found the young of a predator species and chosen compassion over fear. The Red Dragon Pack had come for blood. Instead, they'd found the best of what humanity could be: fierce in protection of the innocent, gentle with the vulnerable, and willing to sacrifice for others without expecting reward. In the cosmic arena where civilizations were judged, humanity had just earned an unexpected ally, and in the simple act of one woman rocking frightened babies to sleep, the future of two species had been forever altered.